Welcome to Glowing Success. My name is Heidi and I am your host. This podcast is for beauty entrepreneurs. Join me weekly as we dive into the beauty industry's ins and outs, from business strategies, top-selling services, and taboo topics. I will be interviewing industry leaders with empowering stories and game-changing insights. Let's illuminate your path to success together. Let's jump into this next episode. Today, we're talking about something that small business owners completely overlook, and I know that you probably have too, because I have, and that's how I came to this conclusion. And honestly, this is what I help people with a lot. And this one thing is quietly costing you clients every single week. I can promise you that. We are talking about your first impression. So not your elevator pitch, not your pricing, not your logo, all the fun things people like to focus on. No. I mean, what a stranger actually sees when they land on your social media or your website or wherever you show up online, wherever they land, that's where you're probably missing some things. So stick with me because by the end of this, you will know what exactly to look for and how to fix it, okay? But, here's the truth. Like, nobody really wants to hear this, but most people will decide whether to work with you in like 5 seconds. Yeah. That's the truth, okay? 5 seconds. And sometimes you have less than that. Sometimes it's like 3 seconds. So let's say that person lands on your page, they land on your social media page, your website, whatever you have going on, your Google business page. They scroll for a second or even a moment, and they either think, yep, this person gets me, I want to book with them, or they click away. But the problem is you never really get to see why, right? So it's not like you get an email from them saying, hey, your bio is confusing, or I couldn't figure out what you actually do, or they just kind of essentially leave the page and they never come back, essentially, right? One of the problems in how this happens to a lot of business owners is we are too close to our own businesses to see what a stranger sees, so to see what that client sees, right? So you know what you do, you know what your story is, like all the things that you value and how to set your value. So that all makes sense to you, but your potential client, and especially a cold client, so a cold lead, so somebody that doesn't know you, is just coming across you without any other like referrals or anything like that. They have no context to you, right? So if your message isn't clear, or if something isn't working in that first impression, they're gone. So, and I see this often, and it's to really talented people. So like, I've worked with so many people that I'm like, oh my gosh, you have such an amazing service. I love what you're doing. You have such cool things. And they even have sometimes good websites and good social media, but sometimes they're missing a few things. And so let's dive into like how to fix it, okay? You have to think of what actually matters. So we have to think about the things that really grab people in. So number one, let's talk about clarity. Can somebody tell what you do within those first 5 seconds? So is it very obvious, like the services you offer or like what you're about? If you're very vague, let's say, that is going to deter people. So if you sound like a bot, and if you listen to last week's podcast episode, you probably know, like, I don't want you sounding like a bot. I don't want you sounding like, some AI did your website or some AI did your caption or anything like that. I mean, specifically, I want you to try to achieve a clear picture of what you do in your own words, or even in your clients' words. We talked about that too, of like using words that your clients or your ideal clients already use. So if it's not clear in your bio or in your homepage headline about what you do, and people feel lost in that, they are going to click away. Number 2, this is my favorite one, connection. And if you've been here for a while, you know I'm all about making connection with your marketing, okay? Does your content, let's say you have videos on Reels, you have, content, you got photos, you got words, you got all sorts of different ways that you could show up online. Do you feel like those things are you? Do you feel like you're showing up in your own world, so to speak? So whether that be like on your website or in social media, or does it look like somebody kind of hired it? Are you using like clip art? Are you doing those types of things? Are we being personal, right? Are we connecting? Most people actually buy from people or book with people that they feel they know, they're connected to, they resonate with. We talked a lot about this in the last episode as well. But if your online presence feels cold or like inconsistent with who you are, those people they're going to go to somebody else. Okay. They're going to go to somebody that they connect with. Okay. So number 3 is your call to action. So if you're telling people to do something, right? Your call to action is, what do you want them to do? I want you to click on this button and book now. I want you to book a call. I want you to book this service. I want you to, something like that. So you'd be surprised of how often I go on people's, specifically their websites, and I have to search all the way down a little bit in order to get a book now button or to get a button of any kind that it directs me to go somewhere. So we want that call to action to be very clear. We want it to be very easy. And honestly, you want to tell people what to do, right? So you want to say, book now. You want to say, book here. You want to say, call me, email me, however your call to action is. You want that to lead them very easily. They should not be confused of how to book, what the next steps are, basically. So I want you to open up your, Instagram, TikTok, your website, your Google business page, however many things you show up online. And I want you to pretend like you've never seen it before, or even ask a friend or a family member or somebody that you don't necessarily think goes on those websites very often or goes on your pages very often, and ask them a couple different questions. And either be honest with yourself if you're going to do a self audit, or have them be honest with you. So ask them like, do you know what I do? Just from, searching around. And then who do you help? So maybe ask them like, do you know who I help? Right? Like, what type of client are you helping? What do you helping them solve, so to speak? And then what should they do next? Or what do I need to do next? What is your next call to action, essentially? If those things aren't clear, we need to fix those, right? So let's start there. And then, that's some work to do, right? Some kind of easy work to do, if you ask me, because when it comes to attracting those clients in the door, and this is your first impression, this should be really important, right? The other thing I want you to do while you're kind of at it, and this is something I've noticed, is I want you to look at your profile photo. So does it look like you right now? Does it look like you at all? Are you using your logo still? Let's use a photo of you, please, because people resonate with people. Okay. You are also a service provider. So I want you to kind of think about that as like, we are offering personal services. People want to see what you look like. I hope you understand how important that is. And are you approachable? You know what I mean? And the other thing that kind of helped me and has helped other clients is I want you to read your bio, especially on TikTok or Instagram. I want you to read your bio out loud. Is it clear? Is it easy to read? Or is it just full of some weird words that you're like, And then I also want you to click through your last 6 posts, and I want you to tell me if they are coherent with like what you're trying to put out there. Now, is it just all over the place? And sometimes that's a whole strategy too. Now, I will say, like, there's people out there that are no niche kind of people, but I'm guessing if you're listening to my podcast, you probably do have a very specific niche, and you probably have a very specific service-based business, because that's who I work with the most. And so I want you to, those last 6 posts, go through and see if they are telling a story. See if they are, consistent with each other. See if they are layering. That would be even better. And see if they are really relevant to what you actually have going on. Okay. because I want all of these things to add up, okay? And then all the rest of the information on your website, your Google, and all that, make sure everything's up to date, okay? Because that is another thing that I always find missing is there's always one piece of information that people are like, oh, shoot, I forgot to update. And mind you, I'm guilty of this as well. If you are sitting down doing the homework of going through all these things, making sure everything's good, and you're still like, oh my God, and you're in a panic because you're like, I need so much help. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know how to fix it. I do offer this. It's something called a first impression audit, and I'm charging $40 for this because it's going to be a quick turnaround, kind of snapshot type audit. Okay. So I'm going to look anywhere you are online and I'm going to look at it from a client perspective. Like, hey, I'm looking to book you and I'm a client. What is this looking like? I'm going to send you a PDF with everything that I have, full report, so to speak, anything that you need to change, anything that maybe would help boost you getting clients in the door. Okay. This is like practical. This is an honest feedback and it's designed to bring you more clients in the door quickly because we're trying to capture those people online. We're trying to capture those people on your website. Wherever you show up online, we want to capture those people, especially if they are even on any of those pages. That is half the battle, is getting them to those pages. And if they're already on your page in some way, then we want to capture them in so they can book and make that decision quite easily, okay? So email me or send me a message on social media and I can send you the link for the first impression audit. I would love to see how you're showing up online. And of course, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, I'd love for you to leave a review. It really helps more people find the show. And if you know someone who'd also enjoy it, share it with them or tag me on Instagram so I can thank you. New episodes come out every week, so be sure to subscribe so you never miss one. See you next time.